In this video, I'm going to explain why Schopenhauer thought that existence was a mistake, and why he thinks that we live in the worst possible world. I spent a lot of time researching this, and it's really interesting. What made Schopenhauer such an influential philosopher? I will tell you in just a bit. Good day guys, this is Fast Philosophy and I'm your host Rick. Today we are going to talk about the life and philosophies of a very influential philosopher, Schopenhauer. Leave a like if you enjoyed and let's just jump into it. First of all, who was Schopenhauer? Arthur Schopenhauer was a German philosopher. Born in 1788, he was the son of a successful merchant with Dutch roots. From a young age, he spent a lot of time traveling through Europe, and this is when he learned to speak French and English. His father wanted for him to become a merchant too, but Schopenhauer had bigger ambitions. After his father died in 1805, he continued his business apprenticeship. But 2 years later, when he was 19 years old, he finally went to university to study medicine. After majoring in medicine, he studied philosophy. And this is where he first learned about Kant and Plato. After the death of his father, his mother became friends with Goethe. And after a while, Schopenhauer started to see Goethe as a father figure. Even though their ideas soon strongly opposed one another, he still had massive respect for him. In 1814, he moved to Dresden, where he got the basic ideas for his most famous book, The World as Will and Representation. Now, let's talk about his philosophies. In his work, The Fourfold Root of the Principle of Sufficient Reason, Schopenhauer examines what philosophers have called a tendency to think that everything in the universe is understandable. This is the principle of sufficient reason. This principle means that everything has a reason for why it is what it is. Because this principle says that everything has a reason to exist, it immediately raises the question, why is there something instead of nothing? Schopenhauer reasoned that if an explanation was genuine, then whatever is explained cannot have happened on accident. Thus, his investigation in the principle of sufficient reason can be seen as a search for the connection between different kinds of objects in nature. In an attempt to further investigate this principle, Schopenhauer was inspired by Aristotle's four explanatory reasons or four becauses. That is why he defines four kinds of connections that arise when you look for explanations. He also identifies four different sorts of objects to which explanations can be given: material things, abstract concepts, mathematical and geometrical constructions, and psychologically motivating forces. And to these objects, Schopenhauer links four kinds of different reasoning. He associates material things with reasoning in terms of cause and effect, abstract concepts with reasoning in terms of logic, mathematical and geometrical constructions with reasoning in reference to numbers and spaces, and motivating forces with reasoning in reference to intentions, or what he calls moral reasoning. Schopenhauer said that one kind of reasoning can only be used for the right kind of object, and vice versa. So if you use logic in your reasoning, it has to be about abstract concepts, and can't be about material things. Schopenhauer used this technique to undermine a lot of arguments for God's existence. Schopenhauer is also one of the most prominent pessimists in all of Western culture. He believed that through intensive introspection, one can not only find the essence of himself, but also the essence of the universe. He says this is because one is a part of the universe, and the energies of the universe flow through one. This essence he calls will. Schopenhauer says that this will is aimlessly searching for satisfaction, but it never gets satisfied. That is why he says that life is dissatisfaction. Therefore, he thinks that desire causes pain and dissatisfaction. He also claims that being conscious only worsens the dissatisfaction, because you can regret things in your past and worry about things in your future. Because Schopenhauer was so pessimistic, he searched for more tranquility. And to get a more peaceful mindset, he shifted to a less individuated state of mind. Another way he tried to have a more tranquil mind was by looking at an object in an aesthetic way. This means that he tried to look at the essence of the object, or the Platonic form of that object. In this way, you can lose yourself in the object and become less individuated. Through aesthetic perception, Schopenhauer says you reach a universally orientated state of consciousness that Schopenhauer calls a pure, willless, painless, and timeless subject of knowledge. And also because he is so pessimistic, Schopenhauer says that this aesthetic perception only gives a temporary break from the world. He also believes that if one appreciates how knowledge creates suffering, that he will be repulsed by the human will, and he will deny the will to live, like Schopenhauer did. Now let's talk about his morals. Schopenhauer himself says that his morals are mostly based on Christianity, even though he was an atheist, and on Indian books regarding ethics. He thinks that one should treat others as kindly as one treats oneself, and that one should refrain from violence and take measures to reduce suffering in the world, and that one should avoid egoism. He also believes that one should cultivate a strong sense of compassion. His morals are also in line with those of Kant and Mill. Now, do you think existence is pain? Or do you think humanity was a mistake? Let me know down in the comment section. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and maybe check out one of my other videos. And I hope I see you in the next episode.